Levels podcast. I'm Justin Horo, joined as always by the triple OG Willie Mason.
What's happening?
What's going on, brother? It's we've got a good little reaction off the back of our new segment, the YouTube questions.
Yeah.
So I've got some good ones. Coming through. We jumped up 700 from last week, so we're currently at 8.2. Yeah, we're fine. We're going to get to 10K. We're chasing that 10K.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah.
By the end of Origin, do you reckon?
Yeah, easy. Origin, it's pumping right now. So one thing that's worked really well for us, and I appreciate people that
8.2.
applied our call. Is it call to arms? Is that the right
call to arms?
Yeah, I think it's.
Is it?
I think it's that. Anyway,
is that what we're doing? Are we calling? Is it a call to arms, Lukey?
Lukey, what did you say, Lukey?
Call to action.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
I think call to arms, is that to do with the military?
Something like that. Yeah. We're not military.
We're not that. All right. But that was to make sure you follow us on Instagram and share the stories with the Levels Network. We had heaps of people, sending in their not only watching it on YouTube, but also people that are just driving in the car. So appreciate that.
We get that, don't we?
It helps it grow and it helps our Instagram page grow.
I get tagged in a shitload of things when they're listening to the Levels Network potty. What do? Do I put that on our story and stuff like that? I don't know.
Yeah, we put it on Levels Network. We wanted to tag Levels Network.
Okay.
So we appreciate.
I get tagged in it all the time. So I think they expect me to do all that shit. So maybe I should.
I'll post every now and then. I don't post all of them. I don't like to clog up the feed too much as well. We leave that for
I'm not putting more than 3 or 4 up on max. Because that's the way I look at things. I'm like, well, I'm already tapped out after 3.
Yeah, okay.
Like when it goes like 6, 7, 8, I'm like, fuck, dude, killing me.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Always.
That's what we're about here. All right, the new segment is going to be for, if you haven't listened to review, we're doing a preview as well. Our favourite YouTube questions, we've got 2. One's basically a statement, but I like it and we'll discuss it. Then I've started off, I'll just start with the topic, and it's to do with the Dragons, and I think this is the best that it's been put. It's Alex McKinnon's opinion that he does for Fox. I think we spoke about this before.
Hey, Mac, Mac knows his shit, man.
Love what he puts down. We're going to do a mid-season review.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you who's going to win the Dally M from here. I will tell you who's leading the comp after 12 rounds. I think we're both probably going to change our predictions for who's going to win the grand final from the start of the year, but they're starting to come good,
I know. And Gus has backed him as well. Gus loves the show. He's a big fan, so he's just stealing my takes.
Yeah, that's right. I love you, Uncle Gus.
Yeah, we love you, Gus.
The biggest surprise of this year, I think there are a couple of obvious ones. Me and you got a couple of different ones there. Our biggest surprise in team and player. Our most underwhelming team. I had players as well. OG didn't want to fucking spray anyone. I'm going to spray a combination.
You could
put it this way.
Yeah.
You didn't want to do it. I'm going to spray a combination. There we go. And I'm just getting text as well. We'll add that to the game a little bit later on, but I got that, Lukey. Who else to watch out for the end of the year? So teams that are in the bottom 8, teams and or players who have been underwhelming, or we haven't seen much of them, or we haven't seen their best this year. So that's what we'll finish off with. Then we'll get down to breaking on the games. Yeah. We've got the Grateful 8 because there'll be 8 full games this week, and the Levels Punters Club Bets Friends channel special. All right. Let's get into it, Mace. We have 2 questions. Well, one is basically someone telling us what's going to happen, and then we'll discuss it. Warriors are about to ruin the Raiders party with some off-the-back fence hit-ups and get that into your tackles. Let's go on, Warriors.
Yeah, that's a statement,
Our
isn't it?
year, Rawiri Heke.
Heke.
From New Zealand for sure.
You know what? If anyone's going to ruin anything, it could be the Warriors. You know who ruined our party when we won 17 games in a row in 2002?
Was it the Warriors?
Fucking Warriors.
Was it
blackout night? Remember I told you the blackout night? They hit us and they pumped us, man.
And you were right on the weekend. They performed well in the blackout again.
Great, it's that jersey, man.
Yeah.
And when they black out, I think when they black out, I'd love to see some stats on it.
Well, is that? I'm asking you. Maybe we'll discuss this. Lukey in the back and search and text it through. Is that the second time they've done the blackout,
or it's the third time? I've had 2 blackouts.
Okay, you've been blacked out twice. 2 L's.
Yeah.
2 L's.
Pumped.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Man. It is. And those jerseys, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's those jerseys that they wore. Like, remember Ruben Wiki ran off the fucking tap and went at Sia Soliola?
Yes.
That was a blackout night.
Was that a blackout night
Roosters,
as well?
yeah.
Fuck.
Dude,
Blackouts work.
Mate.
Maybe they harness that all black energy.
They do, man. It is. They summon it, man. It's very tribal over there. There's a lot of brothers over there, and they really buy into it. Because the guys like near Cora, like he looks like he's been playing for the Warriors for 10 years, man.
Yeah,
that's how much passion he looks like he's got. Dallin, like he looks like he's played for the Kiwis for fucking 10 years.
You can tell
it's that extra passion, right? When you put that Warriors jersey on, because if you're a young kid growing up in New Zealand, you want to put that Warriors jersey on. You want to put an All Blacks jersey on. You want to put a Kiwi jersey on.
Yep.
So that's one of them. So you see those guys that are sort of like I've always rated Dallin, and then he went to the Bulldogs. He had a couple of quiet years, then he went back over. He's got back into New Zealand form.
Yeah.
Right?
He was captain in New Zealand 3 weeks ago.
SJ.
3 years ago.
Yeah. SJ. Like he was. Everyone thought he was done. Go back. Warriors jersey. Play in front of those fans.
Yes.
Crazy.
Since they've been playing in front of the fans, he's been a lot better, right?
We don't realise how everyone's forgotten what they did and what they sacrificed for the NRL to be still up and running now. We always say that, and the Warriors fans haven't forgotten. They've been left in the bleachers for 3 years as well.
Yeah,
so they're fucking. Now they're going all right.
They
want fucking. They want some redemption, and I think they're going all in. So I can understand why they could fucking really ruin. They could ruin Jared Croker's 300 easily because they don't care. It's going to be in Canberra. They're used to those conditions, right?
Yeah. Yep.
As I said, when Canberra go over there, they're used to those conditions. There's only two clubs that really don't give a shit about conditions. When it's cold, windy, and rainy and miserable, that's Canberra and the Warriors, and I'll probably Melbourne. I'll throw Melbourne in there.
I'll throw something at you. I reckon I don't
want the Warriors to win because I want Croaks to win that 300th. But if anyone's going to fuck it up, it's the Warriors.
Yeah. Well, I think
they'll be at Mooseheads after.
I think some other teams could definitely fuck it up. I think the Broncos could fuck it up. Yeah. I think Penrith could fuck it up at the moment. But I will say, this is just like thinking on the run. I reckon we've had the most body science dogs out of both those teams.
Yeah, man. Canberra, a bunch of dogs.
Canberra and Warriors have probably featured on our body science dog of the year this year for sure.
They'll be in the starting 13.
No blackout info and Jackson not answering. Vintage Jackson of
Vintage Jack.
Warriors media fame. That's awful for me. He's got to be ready to go whenever Levels Network call him. All right, the other question. This one's. I wanted to answer this one, but yeah, if you've got an opinion, obviously, let's go, AG. Question, with Taff, I'm even going to spell his name right. With Taff playing so damn good, should he resign, or try to find a better opportunity? I think he's super underrated, and that is from Tyson Spencer. So you've been watching it?
I do. I rate Blake Taff.
Yeah, so do I. You think back to the series 2 years ago?
He got an opportunity because of the injuries. But he's so versatile, right? He can play 7, he can play 6, he can play fullback. Pretty much, if you pushed him, you could probably play centre. Or you could play anywhere in the back line, but especially probably fullback. Is he ever going to play fullback at South in the next 3 or 4 years?
Not while Latrell's there.
Not while that.
And I know he loves the club too.
Exactly. Loves the club. But would he get an opportunity at another club? Would he play first grade every week like a kid, like every young kid wants to? He's a first grader. He's just in a stacked side with the Latrell Mitchell, with AJ and all these other blokes that, the halves are stacked. Like, he just can't really get a run.
I'll throw Hayes Perham's having a great year, but I'd play him over Hayes. That's a tough one for you to answer.
Yeah,
but if I'm looking at teams, I'm going through a few teams. Let me get the ladder up, actually, as we talk this out.
And even if he does that, he's going to be a 14 for most clubs.
Dragons, Sloaney hasn't fully proven himself yet at the Dragons. The jury's still out. Bulldogs, I'd have him over Hayes Perham. Cowboys, Drinky. Titans, they've got 3 of them. Gutho, Knights, KP, if he goes back there, Tommy Turbo. Man, we got some good fullbacks in the game, eh?
We're blessed with
Roosters,
fullbacks.
Teddy, Dolphins, Hamiso, Chance or Roger next year for the Warriors. Raiders, potentially? Because
for whatever reason, it's Savage, man.
Well, for whatever, he's been playing New South Wales Cup all year.
Yeah, I know, because Sebastian Chris has been killing it.
Yeah,
iron sharpens iron, man. They're going all right. The back five's good.
Storm with Nick Meaney with Pappy coming back. Unlikely. Will Kennedy's not going to lose his spot. Broncos and Panthers.
That's the thing. So where does he go?
We've got some good fullbacks.
So if he does go somewhere, and you're not really guaranteed any of those positions, right? He can't slide in, but he can't play 14. Well, who plays 14 for South?
Hey, here he is in the background. Nico's in here.
Yes. How are you, Nico?
We're just saying Shark's going to win the comp, brother. Yeah, it's a tough one, mate, because
So, sorry, go through the 17 for the South. Is he in the South 17 all the time?
No, he's not.
Because he either plays when Latrell's injured or he's not in the team.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even play 14 because of who? Who plays 14 for South? Who's that versatile person that South have?
They generally run with like a back rower or a centre.
Like a Cheekham.
It's like a Cheekham, like a Jed Cartwright, because Jed Cartwright can play centres for him. Who else?
I'm just going to go through their team, sorry.
So
he's obviously fullback now. So they're 14, Jed, Cheekham, Harvilli, and they usually carry some big boys, so they don't usually they don't go middles with anyone.
And an edge back. And because Cookie plays 82, so they don't really carry him to play hooker.
So if he did play that good, he could squeeze himself onto. I thought he would squeeze himself to 14, but obviously the coach doesn't roll like that. Because in most clubs he could be the 14.
Yeah, I think he's versatile enough.
And I reckon he could play. I reckon he could play 9 as well.
Yep. Interesting. Good question. Anyway,
but I think if he does go, he's going to be. He's going to find himself at the 14 position again.
Yep.
Or does he? Or does he stay at a club that he loves and? Hopefully he can play good enough to force the coach's hands. And go, I'm fucking playing good enough. I need to be in 14. Yeah. Put one of those other big boys at 18th man.
I think he'd prefer that than going to another club where it's not necessarily guaranteed that he plays.
But then this comes into it.
Yeah.
Like just say they offer him, just say he's on 250 now and a Bulldogs or a Titans or something like that, just offer him 5.
Yeah.
That's life-changing money.
The teams more likely are probably the Dragons, the Bulldogs, and who else did I have? There's probably one more team. Yeah, no, the Tigers. Tigers would be happy.
Tigers are right, but still they need depth.
Like that dream buller, yeah. And they've got like Charlie Staines they brought in, and Dane Laurie, so they've got more questions.
They're pretty stacked. Yeah.
They probably don't need the headache. All right. Speaking about headaches, we're running out of the Moose bars. So open up the box. That was full as of we've only been doing this for 2 weeks and we have pumped all of them. And what I'm talking about is the passion fruit cheesecake mousse bars, delicious guilt-free snack or dessert that is high in protein, low in carb and sugar with 3 grams of collagen per bar, naturally sweetened.
They're so good.
BodyScience mousse bars are that fucking good and currently available in Woolworths, Chemist Warehouse, online at bodyscience.com.au and in independent supplement retailers.
I can understand.
We've eaten them all.
I don't understand how BodyScience can make some shit that good but be healthy. I'm always questionable. I'm like, it can't be that good for you. But it is. It is. Get it.
But it is. And then while you're at it, if you want to get home, maybe just chuck a little bit of high protein, premium protein blend into your smoothies.
Yeah, that's
because I'm done with takeaway too, OG.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Good.
Yep.
So you're buying in?
I'm having. We're
going to go in?
I'm having 6 months off. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. You'll be
I'm training for the Sydney Marathon. Did I tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you'll kill that.
Plenty of this. Plenty of BSC. Mate. Maybe BSC will get behind us. Actually. We'll speak to the higher.
I know you've been trying to twist my arm to run. I'm gonna say
you know, long distance.
I don't know, man. How long is it?
Well, a marathon.
It's 42K, isn't it?
42K, yeah.
Come on, man. Maybe
just come down and do 5 of the best with us down with the boys.
I'll come and motivate the shit out of you. So those little legs can just keep flying, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. I sort of hinted at it. At the top of the show. Topic 1 is Alex McKinnon's take on the Dragons. Yeah. And I want to read this out because it's very well put. And like I said, he does a really good job writing for Fox League. Everyone thinks the Dragons' number 1 priority is to keep Ben Hunt. But I say it's time to part ways with the champion playmaker. There are a lot of quality players on the market for 2024 and the Dragons already have money to spend. They'll even have more if they move on from Hunt. Hunt is a great player, but they haven't won with him and St. George Illawarra shouldn't be looking for short-term success. They need a full rebuild under a veteran coach. I fully agree with all this. They need an experienced coach to come in and build the club around their young talent in Junior Amone, Jaden Sullivan and Tyrell Sloan. Then they can use Hunt's salary to add several quality players to their rosters. Guys like Jake Averillo off contract, Luke Brooks off contract, Tommy Talau off contract, Dan Laurie, Brian Kelly, Adam Pompey, Tessie New and Wonga Blake, all very good names and would be
all first-grade players,
all very solid first graders. I know Ben Hunt and respect him, and if he wants to stay, he stays. But If he wants to go and try win a premiership, which he deserves, then let him and say good luck. The Dragons are copping it left, right and centre at the moment, but they're actually in a sweet spot right now because they have their pick of available coaches, but wait much longer and there could be 2 more clubs looking for coaches in the next month and the Dragons will find themselves in a bidding war. So,
good take from Macca.
The biggest part of the take is, do you go full rebuild? If you're a new coach, Willie Mason, you've been given the reins.
Dragons, yeah.
You're running the Dragons. You get to pick your staff. You get to pick your players. And one big decision looms. Are you going to build around the youth at the Dragons, or do you continue to build around Ben Hunt and find other pieces around him? What do you do?
This is hard. This is hard because it's proved how hard it is, like in the last, just say 3 or 4 years, to come across a great halfback. Do you know what I mean? Like, have a look at the play from Brisbane. You know, like North Queensland, they were down in the bottom 4 for a couple of years there because they had no half play. So if you really want to put all your eggs into one basket and go Sloan, Sullivan, Amone, is that your spine? You know what I mean? Like, who's the 9 there? Little.
Do you want to find out?
Do I want to find out? No, as a coach. So I want Ben Hunt for the next 2 years.
Just quickly, here's a big part of it. So apparently, the rumours around the chat is if there are a couple of coaching candidates and one of them wants to play Ben Hunt at hooker, so then therefore you can play all 4 together.
That throws it in, you know, like throws a
but he doesn't want to play.
So
he doesn't want to play hooker.
So if Ben Hunt wants to play, just say 7. There's a couple of clubs out there would love a 7.
Yep.
Just say the Bulldogs would love a 7, right? So
West
you've got
Tigers,
a young kid,
7.
West
Bulldogs,
Tigers
7. Cowboys 50-50 with Chad. Titans 7. Eels sweet. We'll see. Knights 7 still outside of Jackson Hastings.
So you got to think. You got to think if you're him, which club are you going to, which is ascending that way? If you're Ben Hunt and you want to play 7, the coach comes in and say, Ben Hunt, you're playing 9. He's 34 years old next year. Does he want to play 9? Is he going to play? Does he want to make these tackles? He's in a power position right now. Does he want to make it?
But if you come in as coach and took that power away from him and say, look, for the betterment of the team,
you're going to be 9.
Where would you prefer to play Ben Hunt if you took over the Dragons today?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, I want him to control the whole team.
Well, then he'll probably stay at the Dragons then.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, what's going to happen is, like, if a coach does come in, which there have been rumours, and say, Benny, you're playing 9. I want to give these young kids a go. Sullivan's playing 7. Monty's playing 6. Sloan's playing 1. We're going to build around them. Blah blah blah. I want you to mentor everybody. He's like, fuck, I want to win a comp or something like that. Like, he's probably thinking like that. He hasn't. He's not a St. George Junior. He doesn't have this fucking love for this club and affinity for the club. It's like, you know what?
He got Rissold early on too.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, I'll go fucking somewhere else. You know, but the Roosters would be like, hey, we need a vet. Come here. All we need is one piece. Bang. There you go. They don't care about money. Just say of us, we've got a young kid, little Carlos.
Yep.
He's going to be he's the future of the club.
Yep.
But imagine having a mentor like Ben Hunt for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Reed Marnie
and
there.
Flexible enough.
Yes.
Oluwapu can play lock. He can play
and so he can
14.
It takes a lot of pressure off these young kids. You got Burton there who's still learning his craft at 6.
True.
Burton's only 23.
Yeah, he's not fully
23.
developed yet.
Just because he's played for Australia and New South Wales doesn't mean he's that dude yet. He can learn so much off of Ben Hunt. And Ben Hunt can sort of set himself up after football right there. Just say if he wanted to get into coaching or mentoring or whatever club he goes to next is probably the one he's going to work with. So if he goes to a club that's ascending on the way up and he knows that everyone's sort of come to that club, which we are, and you want to be part of that, you win at this club, you're a god forever.
This sounds like a good pitch to Ben Hunt for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Benny, you listening?
I know he loves. Love you, Benny. Loves levels.
So he would suit the way that we play. Obviously, I'm not in control of who we recruit or anything like that.
No. But you're just
you would.
You're thinking as a Bulldogs fan as well.
You'd be silly not to entertain the fact if Ben Hunt wanted to come to your club, you'd be an idiot not to have a go at him.
I believe even Gus has said if that was to become available,
exactly. So like we just need to wait.
Yep.
And then assess everything because we've a fair bit of money to spend in the cap too.
What about the rebuilding factor of like? Now, take your Bulldogs cap off. Now think of it. Now you got your Dragons cap on, and you've got Benny Hunt, who Alex McKinnon brings up a great point for everything that Ben Hunt's done for this club over the past 3 years. Arguably, we just had the Dally M just in the background there, and Nico Hines. But Nicho Hines wasn't far off. I mean, sorry, Benny Hunt wasn't far off.
Last year, yeah.
He's played top-tier footy for that club now for 2 or 3 years, and still they've got the results.
You wouldn't think so, eh?
You will look at the results,
You would not think so. Like the amount of shit that he cops, the amount of shit that he cops, like in the media and stuff like that, you wouldn't think he's been playing like a top 5 in the last 3 years, finishing in the Dally M.
Oh, I think no. See, I think he gets it. I think he gets his flowers. But my point is, and I think Alex McKinnon's is that it still hasn't got them the results.
No, he's not.
So it's not going to change anything regardless. So if he stays right for the next 2 years, finishes off his contract, he's got that 1.2 million.
Definitely not the answer.
Can Dragons do anything with him anyway because they haven't shown that they can do it without him? So do you go full rebuild?
Well, I mean, if you put it like that, yeah, I can understand from both points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, is it his choice whether he wants to stay? This is ultimately Ben Hunt's choice, right?
I think it will come. No, well, there's nothing.
So he's got 1 more year?
No, he's contracted.
So he's up.
I think he's got 2 years, but
he's got 2 more years on his contract.
I believe so. Yeah.
God,
I believe so.
Are you sure? Can you check that, Lukey?
Lukey, check that.
But
regardless, he's there next year, right? So he's contracted next year, 100%.
So just say next year's his last year. Like, would you sign a 3-year deal with someone else?
2025.
Fuck.
2025. Yeah, there you go. So if a new coach then comes in and says, look, at the end of the day, it might just be better for both parties, like Alex McKinnon is alluding to here. I think there's so much value in it for both. I think it's a blessing in disguise for the Dragons and him. I think he can then...
He won't feel as bad and he won't get hammered in the media.
There you go, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like it's sort of like a smooth, it's like a...
Dragons
it's an easy break. It's an easy breakup.
Yeah.
It's not messy.
It's the easiest.
It's the easiest way if he goes,
Yeah.
or just say if he stays, there's going to be a lot more pressure on him if he does stay.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone's going to be saying like, oh, you know, we could use Ben Hunt's money to rebuild and buy other pieces and all this kind of stuff. And
a couple of outside backs there.
Hasn't worked for 5 years. Why would it work now? It's Ben Hunt's. His productivity is going to go this way, not this way. So
I'm looking at that list though. Geez, Alex McKinnon likes his outside backs. They're all outside backs. Avery Lowe, except for Brooks, Tommy Talau, Dane Laurie, Brian Kelly, Adam Pompey. A lot of centres and outside
forwards,
backs.
Man.
Yeah. What do they need?
Well, they back rows, mate.
They got the young halves sorted. They got Lomax and Sully, Ravalawa,
Kerr's gone.
Bird, DeBellin. Fuck. I'm telling you, there's not many pieces missing there, man. They just need a couple of back rolls in a middle or two, eh?
Because I reckon DeBellin's pretty much going to be the front row next year.
Yeah.
Him and Laurie. They just need some sort of like...
Ball playing lock?
Yeah, or just leave Jack Bird at 13. Stop fucking around with it. Like he's been centres, he's been 5'8", he's been edge back row, he's been lock. So just put him in one position.
Yeah, Jaden Sewer. Man,
I like Jaden Sewer, man. He's a gun.
Their team ain't all that bad, man. Maybe it's just a new coach and a fresh start.
Whole new preseason.
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen? And these are all the things that will be going through Ben Hunt's as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe he had such a close relationship with the old coach. He's like, oh, you know, he gave him full reign.
Yeah.
He controlled that whole team.
Yeah.
Does Ben Hunt? Yeah. Does Ben Hunt want to relinquish that, or does he want like 50 touches a game? I don't know. Does he want to go? You know what? Fuck, I wouldn't mind some help. Let's start building the team around Armoni and all those, you know. I don't know. It's a hard one for Benny. Or do I want to go somewhere else? Clean slate.
Yeah. I think if I'm Ben Hunt, I'd at this point now, I think he's earned some good money over his career and he wouldn't go anywhere for peanuts anyway. No. If I were him, I might move on.
He's $1 million player. I don't think that's changed.
Speaking of $1 million players, let's get into our mid-season review. And at the halfway point, little clarification, we have the top 5 players before votes went behind closed doors as of round 12. So before votes went behind closed doors, Payne Haas was on 30 points. Nathan Cleary, obviously not going to get there, on 27. Harry Grant and our boy Nicho on 25. And Walshy on 24 with, I believe, Trell Mitt not too far behind and Cody Walker not too far behind. Obviously, Trell's been injured the last couple of weeks, so that doesn't help. Cody just got injured. Mace, who wins the Dally M from here?
Yeah. When's the last time anyone went back-to-back Dally M's? Let's check that, Lukey. Maybe a Cam Smith or maybe Cooper Cronk, JT, someone like that. So I'm going with Nicho. I think not because he's fucking standing there.
No, he's gone now. He's doing his potty in the other room.
I think with the Dally M and how it's usually won, it usually comes from a team like a Cronulla, not like a team like Cronulla, in that you got a team full of absolute animals, right? But there's no superstar player.
Well, Nico's clearly the superstar.
Nico is that dude. He touches the ball the most times. Whenever they win, he's their best player. They're usually good for about 16 wins, right?
Yep.
Probably more. And he's going to be responsible for at least 14, 15 of those. And that's minimum what they're going to win. So therefore, I think he's going to make a real fucking big late run, a second half run, because I just think Payne Haas maybe a few injuries here and there getting through Origin. You know, he's still got like the Carrigans get some points, Walshy gets some points, Ezra Mayer, Reynolds. So Payne Haas has to fucking do a 280-metre game to get 3 points.
And I'll tell you where you have an advantage as well, right? So as of this round 14, Penrith Panthers, the Cronulla Sharks from Nico Hines and Harry Grant, who's my selection, which I'll break down after this, at the Storm, have only played 12 games, whereas the Broncos and the Rabbitohs have played 14. So they have 3 buys remaining, including coming up very soon. So they've got an extra 2 games of points. So I like your pick. Nico, very hard to beat, but I'm going to go Harry Grant for pretty similar reasons.
So the Harry or Munster's going to get the points down there, or Jerome.
You know what, man? And this is a little bit too on the Munster thing, and Munster not getting man of the match.
No, sick of him winning.
I was thinking about this, right? When it's all said and done, and everyone knows I love money, right? Money's my guy. When it's all said and done, what hasn't Munster done?
Dally M.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So when you see a couple of these fucking OGs or greats and sitting on the panels and they vote their 3-2-1, there are so many games I look back and go, Munster deserve more points than that, man. And it's my little conspiracy theory, right?
No. Hey,
Munster's done everything.
Usually right.
Won a couple of comps. He hasn't won a Clive Churchill either.
No, he won the last one, didn't he?
Did he?
Yes, the last grand final. He had Clive Churchill.
Pappy got it.
Well, the fucking one before that.
So what was the
2020?
No, he won the Wally Lewis medal. That's what you remember.
I thought he would have won.
He won the Wally Lewis medal.
Right.
I just, for whatever reason, I don't think Munster gets the votes he deserves. You know who does though? Harry gets them, and with 2 extra games in hand plus Origins, where I think they can tally votes as well. I believe Origin votes go towards the end of the year as well. I like Harry Grant.
Fair point. It's fair.
The Broncos have played all 14, so they're going to get 3 buys. So therefore, Walshy and Payne will miss out.
There's too many superstars in that team, right?
Correct.
So that's what brings down Payne Haas and Walshy's sort of, you know.
Well, Reynolds will start. He's been polling the last couple
Ezra
of games.
Mann can
for
put
sure.
a fucking game. He'll put a game together.
Yeah. Paddy Carrigan.
Tony Staggs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All these blokes they can jag points all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, as I said, he has to put up ridiculous numbers and ridiculous minutes to get 3 points all the time.
Yep.
He's just the most dominant.
Who's Nico competing with?
Walsh.
No, who's Nico competing with in the Sharks?
No one.
Consistently.
No one.
Maybe Will Kennedy chips in and has big performance, but he sort of doesn't get the respect.
Brayley doesn't get any respect.
Brayley.
Finucane. Like the forwards are just all workers and toilers. You're not going to fucking give them anything.
They're just going to give them 2s and 1s when they win.
Yeah. You have to have an outstanding, like a Finucane have to fucking have a ridiculous game.
Yep.
For him to get it. Nikora on the edge.
Finucane doesn't even start all the time either.
And
then Harry's got Munster.
Sorry, mainly they're probably their outside backs. Yeah. Like Multalo on that. He's getting points.
Yeah.
And Will Kennedy and
could be right. Nico could be going back to back.
Yeah, he could go back to back.
All right, who's going to win the grand final, OG? We both had Cowboys at the start of the year.
I did have Cowboys, so I was allowed to relinquish that because this is our show.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, you can't. Well, I fucking did.
Yeah, we just did. Now what's up?
Broncos.
All right, Broncos. I like it.
Yeah, I just think they look like the most complete side. Hopefully no injuries or anything like that. Everyone's playing in top form. I just think they can compete with anyone and on their day beat anyone. And I think it'll be driving them from what happened to them last year. They didn't get beaten in the grand final or anything like that. They just didn't make the 8.
Yeah.
And I think that little bit is just driving them to get in the 8. And they'll just...
That complacency will work well this year.
They'll run through some teams, man, on the way there. Like, I don't think many people are going to fuck with them, especially if they're all playing good and playing fit and they all get through Origin good, like no injuries. This is what we talk about. This is like the top 17 playing their best football against another top 7 against Souths or against a Penrith. I still think Broncos get them if they all play to their potential. And that's the fucking hardest thing about winning a comp. You got to get all your boys through Origin with no major injuries, and then have a late run, and then get into the semis and catch fire, and then hopefully no one gets injured, and then fucking everyone play to their maximum potential and play their best football to win that grand final.
And the beauty of
fucking hard, man.
The beauty of it is both of our teams, and I'm going to go South.
Be a great grand
They've
final.
both played 14 as well, so now they have 3 buys going into the final part of the season.
3?
3 each, yeah.
So is that how many everyone gets like this year?
Everyone gets 3. Or they've got 2. Yeah, no, they've got 3.
That's
yeah,
mad.
yeah, they've got 3 to go. So really good position, both teams. For a lot of the reasons, I know the Rabbitohs give the Broncos a bit of a touch-up about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but that was without Payne Haas and Ezra Mam. So I think those are big ins, and I can see for those same reasons. I think 1 to 17, if the Rabbitohs get fit, I like them over the team.
What if the Broncos finish 1 or 2? They get a home semi. That's fucking hard to beat.
Massive.
At Suncorp.
That's big.
And that's what they'll be going for.
Yeah.
You know, last year, Rabbits versus the Roosters at Allianz. That's very even. You don't get any. It was unbelievable atmosphere, but there's no real home crowd.
What about if Rabbitohs play Broncos at Trallianz?
Yeah, that's mad. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. So
that's one thing they don't.
The other way.
Yeah.
It depends on who gets home.
Yep. And that'll be a big thing. It's a big thing now, home, especially the Sydney and the Queensland teams. I don't give a shit if it's like Parramatta. If Parramatta play Penrith in a semi, it's going to be even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the Battle of the West. It doesn't really matter. You know, South Roosters is going to be the same, pretty even. But when it goes Broncos and anyone else, that's where the Broncos will get it if they can get that that home advantage at for the second semi-final, just to get that week off. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or the first one, they get that week off straight away if they're 1 or 2. They get that week off.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's a big, fucking great advantage.
I can hear it already, OG. We're disrespecting the Panthers. The Panthers are the back-to-back champs. They're currently leading the comp.
Yeah, well, I just think they've come back.
Would Broncos be your second team, or would Rabbitohs?
Broncos are second team.
Yeah.
I mean, first team. And I think everyone else, I think the Panthers will probably be there, but they just won't be as dominant. They've still got the best system, and they work so hard, and you can tell that they've built such a great brotherhood out there. But like this game, it flips sometimes, you know. You still got, there's no kick out, there's no Appy. Cleary's going to be gone for 6 weeks. What sort
blessing
of
in disguise?
Cleary comes back. Could be a blessing in disguise. Could be one of those things when he gets rushed back and it's like he gets hampered maybe he tries to push for the last Origin, which I think he might be. That's about 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
He pushes too hard. You know what I mean? They've got to start caring about Nathan Cleary, the person. You know what I mean? Instead of how good he is for New South Wales and how good he is for Penrith. Penrith need to be pulling him back going, fuck Origin.
You know what elite players are like.
He's
going to push regardless.
He's going to push, but I'm just saying he needs to go like.
And his dad's
do we want to
coach.
go? Yeah. Do I want to go back to back to back? Yeah, I do. Do I want to cop the shit if we do lose for Origin? Probably not. Do I want to
but
come
he's
back?
not going to shy
Do I
away
want to
from
come
that?
back at 70% or 80% with a grade 2? Like that's like, do you know what I mean? These are all the things that you go through as a player. It's a fucking mental battle. Like he needs that. You don't want to be that dude getting smoked because you're selfish with what you want to do. You know, like I would just say he forces his way back. Just say he's available for game 3, right?
Yep.
But he's at 85%. He can't push that extra bit. It's game 3. It's a decider.
And they lose.
Do you want that? When you get shown up at 3 men, you get smoked by the hammer.
On the outside of
something like that, you know what I mean? That's the fucking shit that can happen. And then do you want all the shit to be put on you? Some people do because they think they think their body
dogs.
can do it. But I'm like, that's in my eyes, that would be selfish.
Yeah.
To come back at 80%, or do I use a Nico Hines, or do I use a Moses, or whoever they pick at 7? Who's fit?
What if it's 2-0 anyway? It doesn't matter.
You're not fucking playing. He's not even pushing for the third game.
Yeah.
Because he's not a selfish player. He's not about numbers or anything like that. He'll be thinking Penrith the whole way.
Back to back.
Yeah, he'll be thinking back to back to back. So hopefully we're in game 3.
And let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to win the comp? Who's going to win the Dally M? Let's get into some fun ones. The biggest surprise on the year. I think we've got a couple.
Well, I can't go past the Dolphins because they thought that they weren't going to win a game till round 7?
I thought I had.
There was a bet on, right? You could actually
Dragons
bet on it.
played round 7. Yeah, you could.
You could bet on it. Those guys not winning a game until that round. That's fucking so disrespectful. They beat the Roosters straight up. They've come down from the biggest deficit at halftime.
Yeah.
Like how much more do you want?
They've had 7 wins this year. They are sitting at 8th on 16 points, only 4 points behind the Panthers.
Yeah. So
they've had one less.
They are everyone's surprise. They're probably not their own surprise.
I probably would have picked him if you didn't pick him, but I picked another team for the sake of it.
So who's yours?
Mine's the Broncos, OG.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I was underwhelmed with the way they finished last year. Still got I had question marks on Kevy. I've got to admit, they're playing good footy, but I still do have those question marks. I think it could show.
You still do?
I still think it could show up in big moments, but we will see. And look, it's kind of a shitty thing to say because at the end of the day, no matter what, and the best of the best, if the Broncos don't win, I'm not going to say that's 100% the excuse, but I still got my question marks on Kevy's coaching ability. But what a great job. Yeah. They've surprised me. I didn't think Walshy was going to acclimate as quickly as he has already, and sort of, all the chat was around pre-season was him fighting Tristan Saylor for the number 1 spot. There was chat of Herbie Farnworth at one point, Selwyn Cobbo at fullback.
Yeah.
He's made that job his own, and not only that, he's gone on and made fucking Queensland number 1 his own as well. So
it's a big thing, man.
Yeah, they're the biggest surprise for me. Currently sitting second on the ladder, and Mace, I don't have them winning the grand final, but I have them in the grand final with the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
So
be a good grand final.
That'd be a cracker. Who's your biggest surprise player?
Well, it rolls into what we were just talking about. Like all the factors that you just said then. Like it's Walshy.
Yeah.
Because everyone was sort of like going, oh, well, Cobbo can play. Everyone's throwing their hat in for the number 1 jersey. He's like, fuck, I signed here to be the number 1. Why are we even like...
And took unders
Why
too.
are we even thinking about...
Do you know he took unders?
Putting someone... Ezra Mann come in and took the 6. They thought he was going to play 6 or half or some shit like that. I don't know, or 14. That's what it was, like the vibes.
Originally, you think?
Yeah, that was the vibes, because why would everyone be going like, I want to play fullback? Maybe it's this. Fullback money's a little bit different from wing money.
Well, he took less money to leave the Warriors to go to the Broncos.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, like when Selwyn and all these, for Herbie and all those guys, when they want to play 1.
Oh yes, if you're in their position,
exactly.
1's where the cash is at.
You just need to show them, I can play 1. I can play 1.
Yeah,
give me 1.2, and then I'll just sit on the left edge. I'll be good. But he's proved himself like higher than anyone this year, and I think. Last year people don't understand like the last couple of years that he's had. It hasn't been great. When he hit the scene, he was a golden child, right? A few little indiscretions off the field, sort of humanised him a little bit. He's learnt from those lessons. He's come back and he's gone, I'm going to go to the Broncos because I want to play for the Broncos. Left for less money just to play for the Broncos because he loves the Broncos. He's got obviously some really good teammates there.
Yep.
Wasn't guaranteed the number 1 spot. He's fucking obviously
not necessarily
guaranteed. In my eyes, he's going to be the number 1. But when they started talking
now it looks obvious, but
great.
at the time it wasn't a lock.
But at the time I thought he was, where else could he play? I never but the Warriors were fucking around with him. They put him at 6 and all this kind of stuff, and like I never thought he was a 6. He's just he attacks. He's like a Billy Slater.
Yeah,
he just fucking goes hard. But he's really like shown me like how tough he is. You know what I mean? Like he's about it, mate. Don't let the looks and all that sort of shit fool you. He's a tough kid, man.
Looks can kill.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like, and I just love a story like that. You know what I mean? Like he's a little bit of a redemption story. Everyone's sort of down him. Like he didn't have the best year last year. I think he was on the bench and stuff like that. He wasn't like Garen. You know what I mean? Like he just went, fuck you. Yeah. He did get dropped to the bench, and everyone was going, is he the next Kalen Ponga? I think he's nearly he equals Kalen Ponga at the moment.
Yep.
And then what he did last week to us Blues, he fucking
cherry on top.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with Shawnee Johnson. Johnson from the Warriors. I thought we'd seen the end of Shawnee last year. I was watching him. Obviously, now again, everything's in hindsight when we think about these options, but I knew, like, obviously family meant a lot to him, and family means a lot to everyone, and I know that more than anyone right now. I'm going through it myself, just had a bub 6 months, and what it would be like to be away from them for as long as he did. To bounce back the way he has, and not only because I thought he had a really good season and a half at Cronulla too, where I thought, fuck, Shawnee's found another level here. I think he's gone up another level again this year. And we talked about he was my dog of the week this week. And we found that clip too, by the way. It got posted. Hayden Knowles sent it in.
I told you Hayden Knowles filmed it. That's 10 years ago.
Shout out to Knowlesy. Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 2013.
People need to understand, if you ever played All-Stars That's why they switched it to the Māori All Stars, because it actually meant more to both Indigenous sides, right?
Yes.
Like you picking two All Stars, we're just getting picked, and it was just a piss up.
Yeah.
The landscape of the NRL was a lot different than what it is now. There was no pressure. Instagram just hit. You know what I mean?
An
like
All-Stars Twitter concept would still be fun.
Oh, it'd be great. But it was just like, we used to get into camp. I think with that, just the day before that, like that was training in the morning. Right? We all got up at 4 or 5 in the morning, going straight in, and I said, give me Sean Johnson. You know what would be
cool to do? Like a concept where we picked like an All-Stars team.
That was prime Sean Johnson too, man.
Yeah.
You see how clean that was?
Clean. And he didn't even hit you that hard.
You know what the worst thing was? It was like...
he still had a bit in reserve, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. He had hit a double. Like I was just like... I'm going to hedge my bets here. I'm fucking hunting. I said, I don't give a shit. This is what a team's for. Look, my mentality is I go as hard as I can, and if he comes off his left, someone inside me...
You would have cleaned him up if you didn't if you didn't step.
You see, it took me about 30 metres to pull up. I was on the fucking track, like Usain Bolt. But he got me with that level. I was like, I'd rather get done like that because I'd rely on the guy on my inside. Yeah. You know what I mean? Forget Bert, I'm never getting done on the outside. And I'm never going to just say if I...
And it's his fault.
Yeah, it's his fault if he's not there. He took off too much. No. And just say the worst position I could have been in, if I tried to hedge my bets and think that he's coming off his left and then get my ankles broken. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Then you fall over.
Then I fall over. Yeah. That's fucking embarrassing. So I'll live with that.
Shawnee Johnson and... It was very hard not to put the Warriors as my biggest surprise as well for the teams, but I think Broncos, where they are, deserve the respect. Most underwhelming team, OG. You didn't want to go players. I've got a combination, but I'll merge it into my one.
Mine's probably like only because of what they did last year is the Eels.
Yeah.
I think they've only won 6 games, right?
Let me get
6 games or 5 games. Like
they are currently sitting at 12th position with 6 wins.
Yeah, 6 wins. I mean, like I think the Bulldogs, we've won 5. You know, like the Cowboys have won 5 or 6 games. You know, so like I think
Cowboys won 6 as well.
You know what they achieved last year and how good a football that they did play. They got to the grand final, man. You know what I mean? Like they were fucking.
You're not giving them a bit of slack because at the start of the year with the injuries in the back row, Sean Lane, Madison, all that sort of.
Yeah, a little bit. But I just their spine.
Yeah.
You know, like you need Moses and Brown.
They were all still there. Gutho, Moses, Brown.
That's enough.
And Josh Hodgson.
Yeah, that's fucking great spine. Everyone else can just fit around it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not missing Origin players in that. You're missing Sean Lane and Madison. Yeah. Like they're club players. You know what I mean? Like they're a bit high. Yeah, I know, but they're not current Aussie
they're not Origin
representative players. They're not that yet. They never will be. But they're just like good club players. But like you'd expect someone else to come in and just take those spots. Missing Reg, missing Paulo, different spots. I get it, but I mean, like where they are now, they could be a lot less. They've jagged a couple of games. It's like I think they would be thinking right now we're fucking the most underwhelming team. We need to pick our shit up.
I think it's underwhelming. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not fucking coming here giving you a crazy take. Anyone who's like looking at that thing going, look at the roster and look where they are and what they do last year. They're fucking grand finalists. I'd be thinking the preseason they would have had. They would be going, we'll go one more step. We'll get it.
We'll take the next step this year.
So I just think the Eels.
All right, my one, I can hear people screaming out when we don't say it as well, but mine's the Roosters. And I think a lot of people will be talking about the Cowboys. They were our grand final picks. But
I wanted to say Cowboys.
Yeah.
But
you hate the Eels.
I think the Cowboys might come home stronger than the Eels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. Mine are the Roosters for some of basically a lot of the reasons you said there, mate. It's probably not. They didn't make the grand final last year, but on paper, it was probably injuries that cruelled them in that fucking preliminary against South.
Yeah.
They've definitely got if not they'd be on paper, they'd be arguably the top 3 spines. Yep. Teddy, Kiri, Sam Walker at the start of the year, Cheese on paper, and it just hasn't come to fruition. And that's the main, rather than just picking out a single player, I think, and even throw Joey Manu in that, who's been underwhelming as well when he's played 6. The spine just hasn't clicked for him this year, man. And it's we're halfway through the season. I know they pick it up a little bit as the season goes on, but Roosters has been super disappointing. Obviously, they've got high standards. the extended spine in Victor Radley as well.
Yeah.
He's missed a lot of footy. He made a couple of big errors. As much as we love him, I just think the Roosters, if you were looking at that fucking team on paper at the start of the year, they're currently 9th on the ladder with 6 wins, the same as your Eels, the same as the Cowboys, who deserve to be in that conversation. But
even on the weekend, right? Who was their hardest dude? Hargraves, right?
Yep.
He's 34 years old. Going, him and TPJ just went at it. Like,
that's a part of being an OG, right?
I love that. I love that. But he needs like Lindsay Collins to go, fuck you.
Lindsay played well,
Lindsay
I thought.
did, but I'm just saying, like, he needs to like really take those reins and be that dude.
Yep.
Like Hargraves ain't going to be there forever. Like if you take Hargraves out of that team, the fear factor is not there, especially with Victor Radley not there.
Lodge is moving on next year.
Yeah,
too, so.
I'm just saying, like they're just like Lodge had a good year last year when he moved over. He had, but now he's had a few injuries, all that kind of stuff. He needs to get his fitness back. He's not putting out more than 15, 20 minutes in stints. You need 30 minutes pretty much in the middle to be effective.
Yep.
So I mean, Hargraves is their dude still. I reckon he's
re-signed.
Yeah, and he deserves
it.
And he deserves it. He deserves every fucking cent he gets. His whole body would be fucking banged up, mate. He's the OG out there, and he still goes out. I just love it. 34-year-old. I remember playing when I was 34 in 2014. Just like these young kids trying to go for your neck. And it's just like a pride thing. You just got to fucking go back.
Did you see Gordy talking about it on Bloke in the Bar? He did a podcast with Kempy, same thing.
What did he say? Oh, yeah.
He said time he pumped Ben Ross was just too many young bucks trying to get at him. He's like, fuck, this got to sort this shit out.
Yeah, and that's where Hargraves, I mean, like just say, 10 years ago if he was playing, if you go through him, he'd be fucking punching your head off. But you can't do that now. So you got to legally do it. But him, I love that when some of those hits, look, fucking they were borderline.
Big collisions,
you know what I mean? I loved all that kind of stuff. And it was fair. And it was fucking two grown-ass men going at it, young bull, old bull. Fair enough, shake hands after the game. Done.
Loved it.
Love that.
All right, who to watch out for? Someone, a team or player. So let's go team first. Right. Team outside of the top 8 to watch out for who could go on a bit of a run.
Not being biased and just because I'm with the club. I think the Bulldogs. I think we can go on a bit of a run. I think we've set it up.
Well, add your play to it as well. Who's your player?
My player is kick out.
Yeah, and because that all flows together.
It all flows, man. Like we weren't that team that can really. We don't have superstar players everywhere. We got a few sprinkled in. We've got the Marnies and Burdens and Kickouts and Fox.
Kicks is
That's what I'm saying.
Kicks
and he's one of the best. So like losing him, and then Preston's got to go on the left, and some, we've been Ockenbaugh and Waddell and all that kind of thing interchanging on that right side where
fair job.
Preston, and they've done a great job. But kick out and just his presence out there, his defense, his energy, and just him as a player. You know what I mean? Like we just want him back out there. I think we can make a late run. You know what I mean? We don't have the hardest run on the way home. I thought we played great in some spurts against the Roosters. If we left a lot of points on the field out there.
Yep.
But I just think with Kickout's presence, it's taken a little bit for them to trust the system.
Yeah.
And it's like 13, 14 games now. Now they know if they do and they reach these KPIs, so to speak, that they get the wins.
Get results.
If they don't, then we usually lose.
Yep.
So it's taken this long, and I think the penny's finally dropped, and I think we can get through Origin, we can jag a couple of wins, and we can just catch a little bit of fire on the way back. Anything can happen.
Yep, I agree. All right, mate. My one's the Cowboys for a lot of the obvious reasons. I think they're getting troops back. I think
it's one or the other.
I think they're the most dangerous team on paper that are outside of the main teams, even like with the Roosters at 9th and Manly. I thought about Manly at 10th, but I'm going with the Cowboys because basically we made them the grand final winners at the start of the year, and I wanted to fight back. And my player is Kalen Ponga. I love the decision that he sort of, people, sometimes criticise players when they come out and say this, and he's like, he's probably just said this because he's not going to get the fucking fullback job back from Reece Walsh, but when you've gone through what KP's gone through over the last couple of years with these head knocks, and he's thinking, all right, a bit like Latrell last year. I've had, kept on injuring my hamstring. I haven't been able to play for South. Talk around Origin 3. I'm just going to put fucking South first, and look what happened to Latrell. They went all the way to a prelim again last year. Yeah. Just fell short against the Panthers. And I reckon it's going to serve Newcastle and KP well, and I think he finishes strong and reminds everyone he is that guy.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to forget because he's missed a lot of footy, and the young emerging Reece Walsh is coming through the ranks. So they play each other this week, and I'm really looking forward to that.
You're right about KP. Everyone's rooting for him.
Yeah.
Because he's the face of the game still.
Yeah, fucking oath.
But that little
One of the most
pretty face up the Broncos, I think he wants to be the face.
Yeah.
And he could easily be the face for the next 10 years.
It's a glamour
if
off.
he gets if he gets the number one jersey for the next 3 or 4 years, and him and KP going at it, KP's 14 and
not much better than a hot fullback. Fucking running the league. All right, let's get on to NRL Round 15 preview. Odds accurate as of 7th of June, 4:30 p.m. Our friends at the tab have the first game, Gold Coast Titans versus West Tigers. The Titans are $1.80 favourites, OG, against the West Tigers, who are $2. This game is on Thursday night, and the line is -1.5. Brimo is expected back, mate, with Albert Kelly and Phil Sammy also back. Verrills to start, and the Tigers are unchanged. How do you see this one going, brother?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the defensive system with the Titans, right? Jaden Campbell should not be in the front line. This is where they're going to be struggling because of the fact that AJ comes back and he's their best fullback, right?
Yep.
Campbell's
been playing 6 for
he's been playing 6. I know that, but he's responsible for a lot of the tries near him or just abouts near him. You know what I mean? Near his edge.
Still growing in his body.
Still growing. Still not the best defender. He's always got that little step back where he needs to be in the front line more.
Yep.
The more he does that,
isolates himself.
Yeah. So if you have a step back rowers know that they can run a cold, in out line, out in line. Do you know what I mean? It's and he doesn't trust the system yet. He hasn't been playing in the front line his whole career. You can tell. And I think he's a 14 or fullback.
Yeah, I think he's a fullback.
Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised if Brimo plays 6.
Yeah, I would put Brimo 6 because I just think Campbell and it restricts his running at 6 because he's got to be the ball player. It's just like KP.
Jojo Fafita's been dropped.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you got to do there. This is a mental thing with the Gold Coast now. This is a mental thing.
We spoke about it in the review, right?
It's a fucking good bet, West Tigers.
You like the Tigers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the Tigers too. They're in. I thought they showed some real fight. They've been pretty consistent in the last probably month footy.
I said last week.
Uppy Carousel's the key, and he gets a full week's rest. He probably would have done fuck all this week to get him right for this game because they had a full week's recovery. So I think I'm with you, OG. I'm going to go the Tigers.
I think Tino, guys like Tino and their forwards, Isaac Liu and who's the other fella, the other front rower who's been fucking outstanding.
Fodawaker.
Man, there's only enough tackling and hit-ups you can do before
Tigers
you start
got a
getting
pretty good
really
pack,
fucking
man.
pissed off at
Stefano's
your
been unreal.
You
Dave
know what I
Clemmer's
mean?
having a really good season. I thought the game had gone past Clem. I'm happy for him. I reckon he's had a good
Clem's
season.
been good, bro. Jamin Jolliffe, he's been good. I mean, he's a decent player. He defends really well. They just need to where do you think these tries have been coming from?
Everywhere.
It's what I'm saying. You can't really blame.
Not one specific area.
But they're hitting on those edges, man. They are. They're really they're exploiting the fucking right edge.
Yeah,
their left edge.
Yeah, the right edge has a bit of dramas, but basically the teams go through the middle as well. Hamas Ali scored right through the guts.
Yeah, some real soft tries. And I like the way that they're playing. I like Big Steph. I like Clem. I like that forward pack. They're tough, man.
Well,
John
mate.
Bateman, he's tough.
Tigers?
That Pollard went hard, bro.
Yeah, he goes good. Tigers?
Yeah, I'm going Tigers.
I'm with you. All right, the first game on Friday, Croaks 300. So first of all, massive shout out to Croaks. What an achievement. Get there. Make sure we get there. Hopefully Sticks listened and he spent the entire week on the rower, the assault bike, the saunas,
cold
ice baths.
Ice baths. I think.
Imagine getting in an ice bath in Canberra after being out in the
awful.
Fuck that.
It'd be fucking awful.
Canberra $1.55 favourites though. At the tab OG with the Warriors $2.45 underdogs. I think that's reasonable. The line is 4.5. Sebastian Chris and Whitehead are back from injury, as well as Croker, who comes back from being rested for the 300s. Horsburgh moves from back to
Horsburgh.
He moves out of the back row back into the middle. And for the Warriors, Ali Lau. How do you reckon? There's a young kid making his debut for the Warriors. I reckon it's
which one is it?
Leitao.
Leitao.
Ali
Lauatiti.
No, it looks. I was going to say that it looks like Leotal.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see when they pronounce it on the
forwards. There's going to be pretty evenly matched, man. That's a good battle. That Papali'i, Fanua Blake, Joey Tarpanay, Huddy Young, Whitehead, Niokora Ford, Bunty.
I thought Huddy Young
Tohu
was really
Harrison.
good, actually. After a disappointing Origin game, I thought he was really good on Thursday. I forgot to highlight that.
Where do you think this is won? It's going to be like it's going to be awful. It's going to be real dewy. It's going to be cold as fuck. So it's not going to be real like.
Do you reckon it's going to be heaps Kurt Louis?
Robert Louis. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be pretty even, man.
Yeah, this is a hard one to pick,
It's
man.
hard. I only because I just love Croaks and I just want him to.
Yeah,
I want him to
with
win,
ya.
and it's
I'm with
been
ya.
such a big. A
Build-up.
big build up now. Like everyone knew that he wasn't playing last week for this reason.
Why? Leadership
And fucking you muppets. Understand that. You got no idea, guys. People don't understand. Just say with Croaks. The reason why it is such a big deal. It's the journey that he's got. And the last 2 or 3 years, a lot of people would have retired.
He did a interview with Jake Duke.
Yeah,
it was really good. Yeah, Jakey Duke was really good because after his 250th, they asked him a question like, fuck, 250.
Yeah, and he was like 28.
27, 28. And he goes, I just put it down to good luck. I've been relatively lucky with injury history. And then bang. And then he's just been hit with the last 2 or 3 years. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Father Time's undefeated, OG. You know this better than anyone. That's why we love the OGs. And Croaks, wish you nothing but the best, brother.
Yeah.
Congrats, 300. What an achievement. Second Canberra Raider player of all time. And
Toots, his uncle. He's the other one with 300.
Yeah.
2 of them.
How good. Is that his uncle?
Yeah.
Are you 100% on
Pretty
that?
sure. I'm pretty sure.
Let's look that up because...
Don't fact check it.
well, just in case.
I reckon I know they're related. They're related. It's got to be his uncle. It's his uncle, bro.
Lukey, Google that because I fucking feel like I should know. I should know that. Yeah, he doesn't have a laptop. Let me have a look. Jason Croker.
Elliot Whitehead's big inclusion for him, I reckon.
Here we go. It comes up on Google. OG, so
Horseback?
he joins Jericho every time. Is Lachlan Croker and Jared Croker, they're not related. Is related. Croker is the nephew of former Canberra player.
It's his uncle.
Oh, Lachlan Croker is.
Not this one?
Nah. The hooker from let's see. And then they've got no
Not related at all.
Is Lachlan and Jared Croker related?
Come on.
Like is often asked by his mates related. Well, we don't know. But his uncle is no. Yes, so Lachlan Croker. Uncle is Jason. Tootsie.
So Jared, nothing.
And Jared, nothing. There
Long
we go.
lost cousin, I reckon.
Then we figured that out. Who you going, mate? Canberra or the Warriors?
I'm going Canberra.
Yeah.
Regardless of the 300.
I think the Warriors can fucking really spoil it, but I'll go the Canberra for Croaks,
everything.
all the best Croaks of not Jared Croker's nephew's son. The second game of Friday
this whole time
night.
I thought Toots was his uncle.
Manly are the second game of Friday night. They are at home to the Dolphins. They're $1.38 with our friends at the tab. $3.10 about the Dolphins, and the line is -9.5. Turbo cleared and ready to go after Manly put in the appeal, and Josh Alloy returns for Manly as well. Jeremy Marshall King, big in for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Mace.
They missed him last week.
Yeah,
I know
they did.
Jared Wallace was pretty close to emulating what he does. The one hand scoot got me. Fucking best. I was like, because everyone, big boys when we get to train, we like to play I think. Remember back in the day, everyone used to swap positions.
Yeah,
We always used to try and get into half. Yeah, you try and get into halfback, you try and get into hooker. All the big boys, and he was there, the perfect technique off the ground. You can tell he was blowing. He's like, "Fuck these," because
his left to right wasn't.
Yeah, he was a lot of standing up. Oh, there would have been some great nines critiquing the technique from 9, especially off the ground. But it was good. But having Marshall King back, it'd be he's massive. He's massive. He's either their best player or top 3 then.
It was a big game. I thought, Manly showed a lot of fight with a couple of big names out. Interesting, very interesting game this one. I think Manly can do a number on them.
Yeah, proper. I think this is a brookie, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think
4 pounds
on a Friday night.
4 Pines, second game on a Friday night.
Yeah, I don't think Manly could do this. Dolphins, I mean, the Dolphins they've had a decent season, but I mean, like, they're coming through, like, they're probably, like, evening out a little bit now, right?
Well, you'd think so, but we said that a couple of weeks ago, and then they fucking won a couple.
If they could come up here and smack Manly on a Friday night at Brookie.
If they just win.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just not
It'd
even
be massive.
If they just win, yeah.
But
they're going to be in the game, but, like, we thought that they were going to come back against the Warriors. The Warriors ended up putting to the sword. Usually, like, we're going, second half comeback coming on. Dolphins never give up, all that kind of shit. But I just think it was because of the loss of the 9.
Do you think...
and
do you reckon Manly
our
will beat
boy,
them
the back rower, he's a big loss, man.
Oh, Tommy Gilbert.
Yes.
Yeah, big time.
Big time. Because it fucks up. They're like, there's not
He's
that
out for
much.
the season
so what
too,
did we?
bro.
Yeah. So what did we say at the start? Depth, right? We need the starters to be starting all year and playing their best football, right?
For the Dolphins?
Yes, yeah. So he's out for the year now. That just fucks up the whole balance of their team. Lemuelu's been playing fucking great. He's on the other side, but who fills in for
Kenny Bromwich was playing middle. He'll kick back.
And they'll probably start like Wallace maybe.
Yep.
Or SASA,
Ray
someone
Stone.
there, Ray Stone. Like you can sort of go, but it fucks up the whole the rotation. It stuffs the rotation because he's an 80-minute player and he's a dog.
Tom Gilbert was one of the best forwards at the start of the competition. Oh, Felice Kavusi will come back soon too. That'll be a big in.
God.
I feel like he's been fucking suspended again for ages, bro.
Is this 3, 4?
Yeah.
Do
Manly beat him by more than 10? 10?
Yeah. I reckon they go.
Cover
along
line.
with it. Yep.
All right, sweet. The Dragons, first game of Super Saturday, are at home, $2.85 against South, $1.43, which I got to before. The line is 7.5. Blake Laurie and Mudders Laurie and Jack Bird, Mudders Bird, they're both in the reserves for the Dragons, while JDB is out with concussion, so there's a good chance that probably Laurie and Bird will both play. Trell Mitt is still out for the Rabbitohs and joined by Arrow and Murray, so big outs for the Rabbitohs.
Arrow's out for a while. I didn't think
6 to 8 weeks.
Syndesmosis, man. Damn. So I'm not going. I'm South by a shitload.
Even with Trell, Jai Arrow and Cam Murray out, I think Dragons can keep this one close. I've talked you out of it, haven't I?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Because I didn't know Cam Murray was out.
Yeah, Cam Murray's out with a groin.
Yeah,
it's
St. George.
Nostrada Jubilee as well. Is Nostrada Jubilee, is that?
Yeah, it's Cogra.
Is that Cogra?
Yeah. No, I'm going to go St. George. You got me.
Yeah, all right.
Just because of Cam Murray and the amount of dirty work he does, and so does Jai Arrow. You're going to have a lot of the Hame Seles and Totola.
Yep, Shaq Mitchell starting.
So there's a lot of big boys in that forward pack that can't play massive minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm trying to think it out myself.
So look, Totola, Sele, Kaloma-Tungi, Shaq Mitchell starting 13.
Fuck it, I'm going Dragons with you.
Yeah. Well, look at this pack. You know, like Francis Molo, Michael Molo, Billy Burns, Jaden Sewell, Murdoch Masilla.
3rd-degree burns.
So why is Jack Bird and Blake Laurie, why are they in the reserves?
Because they're coming back from injuries. Jack Bird was rested last week.
So that's bullshit. They're going to go straight back in the side.
Yeah.
So guys like Musgrove and that might miss out. And Molo, maybe they'll start Mudders, Laurie, and at prop. Yeah, but look at that. Totola, Sele, Kaloma-Tungi, Shaq Mitchell. Kaloma-Tungi's the king. Oh, he's their best forward at the moment. But Sele, Totola, they can blow out pretty good. There's not one forward there that can play.
Sele's got a good engine, man, actually.
Yeah.
Totola, yeah. But
I'm just saying, there's no Tom Burgess there coming off the bench either.
Yeah.
So Havili's back, right? Yeah, I'm going St. George more. Look at this.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
All right, I'm with you. All right, let's get on to the 5:30 game. Brisbane Broncos are at home to the Newcastle Knights. They are obviously favourites at $1.23. The Knights are $4.20 underdogs at the tab. The line is 12.5 OG. How do you see this game going? Let me give you some of the news with people that are in and out. Cobbo returns for the Broncos. He's the only one. And Fitzgibbon is 50-50. He withdrew from the Manly game with a calf injury. Kurt Mann is back for Lockie Miller in the 14 jersey.
Yeah, I think Brisbane put a number on them up there. They're hard to beat up there, man. They'll have, just say 40,000 there?
Full deck of cards too, pretty much.
They'll just, Adam Reynolds will be looking for his best game of the year. You know, he's going to be up there trying to prove that he can play. He can play Origin. You know, like guys like like Kurt Capewell, right? So Jai Arrow's out. What do you think he's thinking? Fucking, I'll play my best game. I might be on the bench.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Or even for Tom Gilbert starting.
And Tom, that's what I mean. Like, so he's going to be like, well, I need to get through this game. I need to play my best football, and I'm back in Origin. So, you know, Payne Haas, Flegler, Jordan Ricky's there. Like, he's been playing outstanding. Carrigan, they're all rep players, man.
I think this is the strongest possible.
This is the fucking best. This is what I look at and go, this is like a premiership winning roster. Because you have a look at their bench. Corey Pay, Pierre Kura, young kid, eh?
I like him.
Kobe Hetherington hits like a fucking truck. So,
tell you what, Newcastle are close to full strength as well, actually.
Yeah, this should be a good game, but I'm just thinking like the class of Brisbane, I think will really show. You know, Frizz wants to get through the game, wants to still play outstanding. Daniel Saifidi be thinking that he's still got a chance in Origin.
Yeah, I reckon he's a big chance.
You know, like Gags, you just got to stay ready. He's going to want to kill it.
Yeah. KP point to prove
KP's
against
got to go,
Walsh.
you know what? I'm fucking still that dude. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on.
So
fucking
you like
game? Be a good game, man. I just like Brisbane. Brisbane should fucking it'll be close, and then I think Brisbane will just run away with it.
Okay.
It's one of those games where they fucking score 3 tries in 10 minutes, and you can't hear shit. But fucking Brisbane Broncos fans, it's awful.
13 plus.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take the line with Newcastle plus 12.5 at the tab. The last game of Super Saturday is the Sydney Roosters at home, Trellians, against the Penrith Panthers, who are undermanned with no Nathan Cleary, obviously.
We should be like going, fuck yes, this is going to be the best game of the round. But are we?
It's a bit underwhelming with all the people that are out, right?
Well, just for Cleary. You just put Cleary and just say he's out. And I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, true. I still think it'll be a good game.
Oh,
the Roosters are $2.50 with the tab. The Penrith are $1.53 underdogs. And the line is plus 4.5 about the Roosters at home at Allianz. Are they doing enough? Toops is out. Toops is back in for Suali'i, who misses with the suspension.
Not a bad replacement, eh?
Not a bad replacement. Cogger in for Cleary, obviously, and the week get a dog. He's back on the bench, Jamin Salmon.
Could that
How do you
win,
see this game
just
going?
that little win against
Just a
us,
confidence
could
builder?
that just go, fuck, all right, we won. That's all we wanted to do. Get back in the winner's circle. Now we need to start making a run and sending some messages out.
Well, if you thought Penrith were up for grabs this year without Api Carousel and Viliami Kikau, you're going to love it even more playing them without Nathan.
I mean, this is where Jerome Luai is like, this is my team.
Yeah, big game.
You know,
for
where
Jerome.
he's like,
big
I
game
did this,
for Jerome.
I did this like when I put Samoa on my back.
Yep.
Fucking proved everyone I'm world class. I don't usually get a chance to do it at club level.
No. Now
I'm like,
even when Naif's missed some time, they've still been stacked. They're not as stacked this year. So if he can pull this out, this will be massive.
Like if and he'll be looking to go, I'm still that dude. I'm still that dude. So simply because I trust that kid and I respect the way that he fucking goes about his business and he's about that sort of shit and he takes challenges on personal.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to be that guy for the next month.
I like it.
And I like his mindset. I like his confidence. I like his swag. And that's what people probably fucking don't like as well. You know, so he's very polarizing because the way that he's, and I love that shit. I'm about that. Don't worry about it. I'm going Penrith.
All right, and I'm going Roosters for this reason. Same reasons you with Jerome. I'm going the champion.
Yeah.
And it's
Manu?
Teddy.
Oh, Teddy.
Teddy, who's the chat been around?
I get it. You've just chosen another person. I was going to go there, but I'm just like, fuck, I just got to choose one.
People have been talking about Dylan Edwards taking his spot for New South Wales. This is an opportunity to do it at your home ground, head-to-head with no Nath.
Yeah.
Teddy, these are the sorts of games that a guy like Teddy, body science athlete too, by the way.
Teddy doesn't play against us, we win.
Yeah, I agree. And he
did some shit that was just like he shouldn't have been there for that try.
He shouldn't have even been in that Dragons game if it wasn't for him
set
either.
that try up for it was should have had a week off, Teddy. Fuck you.
I'm going Roosters, mate.
Sorry, the fucking battle in the middle. Collins, Hargraves, Leota, Harris.
Ooh.
Satilis Tupanua, fucking little Balake, the young kid.
Yeah.
For us, the winger. Yeah. He fucking ran. I said, because he's like I talk to him all the time. I said,
Balake Wilson.
Yeah, Balake Wilson, yeah. I said, why the fuck do you run at fucking Tupanua like that? Yeah. He goes, when he was coming out, he saw Tubes like dip.
Yeah.
And he goes, I thought I could get lower than him. I said, that's the stupidest fucking thing ever.
Well, you gotta learn.
I said, you nearly were on your knees, right? And he goes, I said, that much, I think he got him here. Yeah. He pops you right on the fucking nose, man.
Game over.
Like you got to be careful when it comes to hitters like that. A little bit of late footwork. Don't try and get lower than a guy who's already set. I said, you should be seeing him. If he's set, boom, inside shoulder, outside shoulder, because he's not going to. Why run straight into him? He goes, yeah, fucking fair point. I said, yes, because they're a fucking bunch of hitters. You're going to see a lot of those guys. The plays that you're taking, play 2, you're a young, good-looking cat. These guys want to kill you. Trust me. I'm one of those guys who wanted to kill you.
You know what? When
and I respect it because he still ran straight at him.
I had a gift. He's Glenn Short, the great.
Yeah, the gift.
The gift said, "What do you tell someone who's got 2 black eyes?" Yeah, nothing. He's already been told twice. Rookie, you got to learn. He'll learn. But
I love it. I love the fact that he still saw. He goes. I said, so you saw him set his feet, and you still tried to get. You're going to win that. So that kid's a hitter, man.
I'm going to go the Roosters at home, mate. You're on the Panthers. All right, we're going head-to-head on that one. Melbourne are hosting Cronulla down in Melbourne for the first game of Sunday.
Usually,
the only game of Sunday, actually, because the Bulldogs and Parramatta are playing on Monday, Queen's birthday, I believe. Melbourne Storm are $1.55 favourites. At the tab, with the Cronulla Sharks being $2.45 underdogs. Obviously, Mason comes into it. -4.5, so I can judge by the way.
Any injuries for Cronulla?
Well, Olam's out with concussion, so Grant Anderson comes in for the Storm.
You'd be cheering if you're the right side back rower.
Cam McInnes comes back in for the Sharks.
Sorry, did you see that hit that he got Nanai with? Oh, fuck, mate. He's like a proper hitter.
Yeah.
He hits you like, usually Nanai would fucking, he'd find a way to sort of squirm out of that. But nah, bang. Once he hits, you're popped. He's just like, sort of just hits through
0
you.
to 100. 0 to 100.
So I think there should be a little bit of, I don't know, that right side. They'll be going there. They'll be attacking it. Katoa's on that right wing.
Jesse Ramian. Katoa.
Why are they, 245? I'm all in for Cronulla.
Yeah.
They're going down there. They're going to send a message, all right? Last week, they were a little bit off. They had a lot of ball against Brisbane.
Yeah.
And they just fucked it. They just didn't capitalise on everything.
Oh, here we are. Look at this. Look, he's come back in as well. He must have heard us.
He must have heard us.
We're talking about the Sharks. We think $2.40 overs.
240 is disrespectful. I think they'll be going down there with that attitude like, fuck you, Melbourne.
Yeah.
And we did, and they had that. And I just think, I just don't think it's...
All right, bro. See you, Nico. See you, brother.
See you, mate. I just think they're that team. I think Fitzy will have them primed. He would have been disappointed last week. As I said, they had a fair bit of ball. They had attacked Brisbane's line.
Yeah.
Shit, they just didn't come up with points, man.
Yeah.
Obviously. And Brisbane's defence was awesome. Mulatalo was fucking thrown out about 4 times, usually on some really bad defensive systems. How many times you seen Mulatalo score? When Nico comes over with that late block?
It was great D from the Broncos.
That's what I'm saying.
It was great D from the Broncos.
So maybe Melbourne figure that out as well, because I think once there's film on it and someone solves that, you pretty much copy and paste, and then you do what you do.
Yep.
And Melbourne's probably the best at that. But do they have the troops?
Yep.
Do they have that defensive system still?
Yep, I think they do. I think they can get the job done. I'm going to go against you again. I'm going to go Melbourne just because it's down in Mexico. That's it. That's the only reason. If it was at Cronulla, then I probably wouldn't be. I'd probably go Cronulla. So that's where I think the odds are. I think it'll be closest to. I think people will agree with you, Mace. I think the money will come for Cronulla the closer it gets to the game. Your Bulldogs are playing on Monday. $3 underdogs at home to the Parramatta Eels. Let me just check if the odds have changed because I've got some breaking news. So
you do?
Yes. Dylan Brown is out, mate.
All
right, so Dylan Brown is out. The price is now $2.65. It's moved from $3 to $2.65. And the Parramatta Eels are now $1.48. The line is +6.5. So obviously big news, mate. The Fox Sports, the Parramatta Eels have been informed by the NRL that Dylan Brown has been stood down from team selection as part of the NRL's no-fault stand-down policy regarding the incident this past weekend. The Eels said in a statement. That's it. We'll wait until everything else comes out. No.
It's not a news show.
No need to talk about it. Karaz is back in for you boys. Mace, Reedy's obviously 50-50. He's had 2 Category 2s in.
He's got to pass the cog test and do all the protocols,
Okay.
and then hopefully we'll see how he goes.
Yep, and big in. Oh, and I think there's another big out too. Big Widemu. Widemoo's out for a while too. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's good. It's just good for us.
Yeah.
Because he's been playing pretty good. He blocks up that middle. He's a big
They got
body.
RCG back, so that's a big in.
Oh, they got big Reg back.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what sort of Reg will come back. You know, he's been out for a while. He's missed 6 games.
Yep.
I just think the Bulldogs, you know, I used to love playing against Para. Used to love it. These games were just like fucking, you'd look, first of all, when you got the schedule, like, when the fuck are we playing Parramatta? Usually be at Para Stadium or ANZ or some shit. Like, I remember coming in one time, it was Friday night game. I remember Friday nights was, it was a Thursday game. And I said, someone asked me a question about Para. I said, I don't fucking rate them.
Yeah.
Their forwards are soft.
It's because you're so close to them in that too,
Yeah,
right?
because they make people didn't understand that rivalry in the 80s. In the whole 80s, they were in 8 grand finals, 8 or 9 grand finals. So you got to buy into that shit.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
And then like folks, he's like, I come in, folks, like, why'd you say that? I said, it's a fuck. I said, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? I'm not saying shit.
What did they do?
What did they do? Exactly.
Did they do anything?
Nothing.
I'm asking you.
No, I'm the one out there. If I say some shit,
you got to back it up.
I got to back it up. I'm the one who's in the middle. Hey, and I had some rough riders with me as well. I had fucking Pricey, I had Ogre, Roy, Sonny Bill, Andrew Ryan, Rennie Matua. So I'll go to war with those dudes any day ahead of those guys over there. I said, so fucking good luck.
Yeah.
So when I said shit like that, everyone just galvanizes, you know. And, you know, you get taken out of context a little bit, but it's the fucking headline, right? That people read, they would read it, all that kind of shit. But folks who's big in like no bulletin board material, fuck it. I didn't think it would be like that, but I was like, I did say it. They said, well, do you rate their pack? No, I don't rate their pack. Because Hindmarsh is in there. Love you, Hiney. No, but like guys, we had it was a fair battle. It was aggressive and everything. It wasn't dirty. It was just a real fucking hard battle. And because we both clubs bought into it, and you know, hopefully the Bulldogs now, our boys, can buy right into it as well. Because it's one of those games, man. Like we fucking pumped Para last year. Parramatta ended up making the grand final. So anything can happen on these games, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything.
I like his even more now that fucking Dylan Brown's out, for sure.
Yeah, well, he's their man. So I just think
and
these games can go anywhere.
I'm going to go. I love. You've talked me into
it. Like TPJ, like you think he's not going to go at Paulo and Reg? Talked me into it. Do you know what I mean? Like look what he did. Look what he did last week to Hargraves.
Yeah.
Like that was an even battle. Don't get me wrong, and Lindsay Collins and all those sort of guys. But like, let's fucking go. Like I think our boys are. You know, they've still got 3 or 4 days before the game.
Yep. It's Monday.
Which good day tomorrow, Friday off, Saturday, and then
it's good
Sunday.
For Reedy, that extra day helps.
Yeah, it is. You know, so Reedy was a big loss. I think if he plays in the second half last week, we win.
And he would love it. He didn't have the best game against Parramatta first time, so he'll be itching for this game.
It's one of those games, man. Like if you can't get up for this, if you're a Bulldogs player, you're not getting up for anything.
All right. Speaking about getting up. It's time we got a fucking Grateful Eight up.
Yeah,
let's get into it. All right, first game. I'm hoping that he plays fullback for all the reasons you said before. Gold Coast Titans at home to the West Tigers as the green mist enters the room. Jaden Campbell, anytime try scorer, $3 for the Gold Coast Titans. Got to go the 300 gamer. Canberra at home to the Warriors. Everyone would love to see Jared Croker score in his 300th and get the dubs. Give me Jared Croker, 260. He made a statement going into Origin 1. I think he makes a statement going into Origin 2. Tommy Turbo at home against the Dolphins, $1.95. We talked about him before. Is he going to stay at the Dragons? Is he not? Who cares? Hopefully he scores this week. Ben Hunt against a weakened South Sydney team, $3.25. The other game where we saw 2 beautiful fullbacks going head-to-head, the Brisbane Broncos versus Newcastle Knights. Give me the OG pretty boy, Kalen Ponga, $3.50. Again, I'm liking fullbacks this week. Sydney Roosters play Penrith Panthers. There's been chat around Dylan Edwards taking his spot. Teddy hears that. He's not only the skipper of the Roosters, he's skipper of the state.
Yes,
he is. Statement game. James Tedesco, $2.60. We're down in Mexico, baby. Melbourne Storm at home to Cronulla Sharks. We had the beautiful Nicholas Hines in there. Who did he learn from? Cameron Munster. Give me the Prez, $2.75.
Like it.
And your Bulldogs are playing Parramatta. I think it's going to be a back and forth game with plenty of tries. So give me my boy Track Star. Clinton Gutherson, $2.20.
You do that little dance, I'm going to fucking run on the field,
If he hits the Gutherino on you.
Nah, don't you dare, Gutho. I'm coming. I'm going to be looking for you.
He actually sent me a video the other day of your take on who were you sticking up for? You
Teddy?
sticking up
Was it
for Teddy? Oh, Walshy. Yeah, it was a Walshy take. Yeah.
About the first
the first carry. Yeah. He
He
sent it to us. He goes, fucking, he loved it. So
Gutho loved it. Because he's about that shit, mate.
He is.
He knows what sort of energy the fullback holds.
He's like a forgotten guy at the moment, right? With all these, he's just one of those guys in an era where he just fucking top shelf.
He's going to be unlucky, mate. Very unlucky. If he was a 90s and, early 2000s sort of fullback.
There's so many good
that
fullbacks.
That era, he'd be fucking one of the first picked.
All right, let's get in the Levels Punters Club Bets Friends channel special. And speaking about getting up, it's time to get this bad boy up.
Yeah.
So, Manly, I'm going to go things that are close to my heart this week. And I feel like I'm going to pull the heartstrings on this one to get it home. We need to get it home. Manly -9.5 against a weakened Dolphins team at 4 Pines with Turbo to prove a point and fully recovered. And my boy, the Prez, we're going down to Mexico against the Sharks. Cam Munster to score in the first 60 minutes. Put those two together with the traders for $7.50 with a max bet of $25. Let's go, AG.
I don't want to get these up. I watch every minute of every game, and I'm just like, always just like, how's the Grateful Eight going? Are we doing it? Are we doing it? Are we doing it?
Fours and fives.
Yeah.
It's time to hit it.
Bets friends. Are we going bets friends? Are we doing it?
We're hitting it. We're hitting it this week. But as always, we want everyone to be playing safe during this footy season. So please keep front of mind. What are you
really gambling with?
There you go, OG. You want to read it out?
And if you need free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
You made that look way too easy. I struggled on it every week. Yeah,
you can find all current LPC bets under the Bets Friends banner on the TAB app.
OG's going to take over.
Toronto High.
Here we go. Lukey, all good? All right, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the footy, OG. Good luck on the weekend to all the punters. And see us in the comments. Share it. Levels Network, Instagram, subscriptions.
YouTube.
Leave a review.